Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Ain Atia, and today along with my team members from Group 8, we will be presenting to you a case analysis on Uber Technologies or Uber. Uber provides ride-sharing services that has penetrated, disrupted and changed the way we use transportation services today. Uber connects individuals through its technology platforms for various business purposes. It has 4 business segments. Firstly, the ride-sharing or e-hailing services, which are UberX and UberPool. It operates meal delivery services through Uber Eats. For logistics, there is Uber Freight, and lastly, it penetrates urban mobility through Jump and New Mobility, which are dog e-bike and e-scooter services. Let us take a look at the history of Uber. In 2009, Uber was founded in the city of San Francisco by Travis Kalanick and Garrett Camp. In February 2010, Ryan Graves became the first Uber employee. Graves started out as general manager and was named CEO shortly after the launch. In December 2010, Travis Kalanick succeeded Graves as CEO. Following a beta launch in May 2010, Uber services and mobile app officially launched in San Francisco in 2011. Originally, the application only allowed users to hail a black luxury car, and the price was 1.5 times that of a taxi. In 2017, Uber's corporate culture was outed for being highly hostile, sexist, and offensive, resulting in a company-wide investigation, and this was evident in a series of events. In January 2017, a digital Delete Uber campaign started trending. This was because Kalanick secured a seat on Donald Trump's Technology Council presidential election. Trump has instituted a travel ban against Muslims, sparking protests at many airports. To worsen the condition, Uber had turned off surge pricing in the area of the airport, which many members of the public interpreted as an attempt by Uber to profit off the protests. This resulted in 500,000 users deleting the Uber app. In February 2017, following Susan Fowler's public blog post which disclosed her experience of getting sexually harassed at Uber, but her complaints dismissed by Uber's superiors, it led to many 215 more complaints arising on similar matter. In the same month, Kalanick was caught on camera yelling at an Uber driver who complained about changes in Uber's fee structure, and the footage was widely circulated in the media. Subsequently, in June 2017, Kalanick resigned as CEO but remained on the company's board. In August 2017, we saw that Dara Khosrowshahi named as the new successor of Uber. The decision maker in this case is Dara Khosrowshahi, Uber's current CEO. He was former CEO of online travel website Expedia for 12 years. Prior to that, he was former CFO for IAC, a conglomerate of various consumer-facing online business. He graduated from Brown University with a background in engineering. He was actually the third choice of Uber's board of directors for Kalanick's replacement. He finally replaced Kalanick in August 2017. Just months after his administration, he introduced a new set of core values to rehabilitate Uber's corporate culture from its previously hostile, sexist, and offensive company under Kalanick, and paves way to revitalize its public image. Therefore, we derive the major issue of this case as Uber's bad public image, leading to a declining profitability. Khosrowshahi had struggled to move Uber towards profitability amidst accusations that tarnish its public image. There are many symptoms that pointed towards the major issue. There is the issue of sexual harassment by Uber employees that got publicly disclosed. Uber also was accused of discriminating its employees by employing only homogeneous staff, which are predominantly young, white, and male staff. This led to a $10 million class action suit filed by 400 current and former employees who are women and people of color. Next, there was the Delete Uber movement following Kalanick's seat as Technology Council in Donald Trump's presidential election, leading to users deleting the app. In addition, Uber faced charges for the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, in which Uber made payments of bribes in foreign countries due to its failure to legalize operations. Uber also had a dispute with Apple, where a component of Uber's app coding could circumvent user privacy. A database hack occurred during Kalanick's time, but was not made public until a year into Khosrowshahi's appointment, which violated California laws that required urgent notification in event of data breaches. Moreover, a self-driving Uber car hit and killed a pedestrian in Arizona. Last but not least, Uber had troubling stock performance in which Uber's IPO in May 2019 marked as the worst first-day performance for a giant US IPO.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Amrul Hazari. So the first megatrend is technology. Under technology, we have two megatrends, which are autonomous vehicle and platform economy. So autonomous vehicle is a vehicle that can drive by itself, or also called autopilot. This is considered as megatrend, as it is expected by 2030 there will be 20.8 million autonomous vehicles on the road. So the next megatrend under technology is platform economy, which is economic activities that are facilitated by platforms. Most companies at that time are starting to use platform to generate transactions, such as Uber and Grab. This is crucial, as in the future more companies will join this platform economy. Next, we have gig economy, where the labour market, majority of the labour prefer to do short-term contracts and freelance work as opposed to permanent jobs. As mentioned in the case, it is estimated that the gig economy will increase from 34% up to 43% by the year 2020. This is vital, as Uber's drivers are mostly from this economy. So Uber will face direct impact from any changes to it.
So basically, we are using Festive Analysis as our first analytical tools. We are using Festive Analysis because we want to analyze the external factors that are related to Uber company. So there are 5 areas will be analyzed, which are political, economy, social, technological, legal, and environmental. So the first one is political. First point is status of Uber drivers. There were some serious issues to settle with respect to the status of Uber drivers as employees or private contractors. In its initial development, Uber did not have clear regulations. It was difficult to pinpoint insurance lie into which bodies, such if there is an accident, is the Uber driver at fault or the company itself. So the second point is CEO support towards Trump. This is unfavorable to the employees and customers. Those people who their principle are not in line with Trump principle, they will try not to support any association with him. So the second area is economy. The first point is the gig economy, which is a major trend that has potentially widespread implication for the future of the gig economy, and especially ride-sharing apps. The increasing in numbers for the people who want to do independent contract and short-term labor lead to the high demand to be Uber driver. So the next point is the customer ability. The price rate of Uber is cheaper than other e-hailing and also the educated customer. Because of these two reasons, customer would prefer any e-hailing services that provide cheaper prices, so the demand for Uber would increase. Okay, so next area is social. The first point is easy availability. Customers of Uber enjoy its easy to access platform. Choosing an appointment and pickup time is easy using the app on smartphones. It requires no communication rather than a few presses of a button. The cheaper price is enticing to many, which has led to the explosion of Uber's growth all over North America. As consumers enjoy their rides, they post about their experience on social media sites. The second point is a delete Uber campaign. 500,000 users deleting their Uber accounts. On the heels of the presidential election of Donald Trump, Kalanick secured a seat on the President's Technology Council. And that time, Trump instituted a travel ban targeting Muslims, sparking protests at many airports, including JFK International Airport in New York. It leads to bad public image of Uber as they associated with that kind of immoral ban. The next area is technological. The first point is the usage of media social. There are 3.48 billion social media users in 2019, with the worldwide total growing by 288 million, which is 9% increases since this time last year. Uber spread like wildfire through social media, people explaining their riding experience online and share stories online. It encouraged new users to do the same, and then buyers are searching for cheaper transportation options, and Uber fulfilled this need. The second one is the swift proliferation of smartphones worldwide. Rapid expanding access to high-powered mobile phones and the explosion of social media users. This rapid expanding connected workers looking for flexible job opportunities with consumers that increasingly quick to demand. Okay, so next we move to the next area, which is legal. Uber failed to legalize their operation. Internationally, Uber failed to legalize its Uber Pop service in the Netherlands, which some researchers ascribe to the firm's continued operation while concurrently lobbying for revised regulation. They did a foreign corrupt practice, such as bribing foreign countries to operate their business in the country. Second point is neglect the laws of other countries. They do not follow the e-hailing act in foreign countries. For example, the Netherlands were against Uber for their drivers not having taxi license. Next, cease and desist orders from Portland and any other additional ban consideration in Asian countries. So the next aspect is environmental. They have this service called Uberpool. Uberpool is a platform whereby you may share the rider with another passenger who may also be going in the same similar direction as you when you request your ride. Uber puts together multiple passengers that are along the same routes. Hence, this initiative contributes to the environment in terms of less carbon pollution, which will make the public image of Uber become good.
The second analytical tool that we use is Ansoff Metrics. The reason why we choose Ansoff Metrics is because this tool will aid us in deciding the best strategy for Uber's growth. So between the 4 growth strategies, after analyzing it with the important factors to this case, we decided that market penetration is the best strategy. So market penetration is where the company decide to sell more of the same product to the same market. So as you can see at the left box, market penetration tick all of the boxes. Increase in supply, which is the increasing gig economy, and increase in the demand, which is the growing ride-sharing market and low car ownership, really proves that Uber should maintain in the same market and penetrate it more. Plus, Uber is in loss, so it is more preferable to cut costs, and market penetration does not incur that much of an expense. Other than that, Uber's competitor is not that solid. Uber win in terms of fair prices with the taxi. In addition, Uber also has a wider services compared to Lyft, which does not offer food delivery, commercial freight, or fintech services. And lastly, continuing in the same market will not concern Uber in terms of rules and regulations, as they are already familiarized with it. Thus, under the strategy of market penetration, we successfully listed the possible strategies that we can recommend for Uber's growth, such as increased marketing investment, enhanced distribution, competitive pricing, reduced operational costs, acquiring competitors, partnerships and joint ventures, new product benefits and features, and increased frequency of consumption. And these strategies will be further explained in the recommendations.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Aina Nashuha. In the Uber case, by analysing the situation and circumstances of the company internally and externally, 2 mutually exclusive alternatives have been developed. These 2 alternatives are status quo and venture into new market. For status quo, Uber can continue into the current market while focusing on rehabilitating its public image, thus increasing its profitability by gaining public trust. For the venture into the new market, Uber can create new potential markets in other countries. Moving on to the decision criteria, both alternatives can be evaluated using these 4 criteria. Firstly is the CEO vision. One of the significant decision criteria is to achieve Koroshahi vision, which is to fix the company's image to gain profit. The second is to adhere to a new culture established by Koroshahi. For instance, the company involved diversity and inclusion for every workers and offering opportunities for employee education. Next is for the cost. It is important to consider the best strategy that saves costs and brings maximum benefit to the company. The last criteria is Uber needs to consider the time efficiency. It is important for the company to choose a timely strategy for the company's profitability. From the decision criteria, we have identified each alternative based on 4 criteria. In terms of CEO vision, Koroshahi has transformed the mission from focusing on aggressive business operation to focusing on the good effect it created. The status quo passed this creation, whereas the second alternative do not pass. For the culture and value of the organization, alternative 1 would favor the company. By continuing in the current operation, Koroshahi can implement his new set of value to rehabilitate its corporate culture in his existing operation. For alternative 2, on the other hand, focus more on entering new market, whereas the changes in organization culture are only barely identifiable. In terms of cost, since the company already been several years in the industry, it will have skill in operating the business in the current market. Thus, the status quo pass this creation, whereas venture into new market does not pass. Lastly, for the time efficiency, the status quo is more efficient because the time to develop a new strategy for a new venture is more time consuming to research. Following the discussion on choosing the best alternative for Uber, we decided to choose alternative 1, status quo, which is to continue with the current market while focusing on rehabilitating its public image, thus increasing its profitability by gaining public trust. This is because Uber reputation currently is damaged, thus it is better to focus on improving existing operation than taking on a new one.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Azizi. Now we move on to the recommendation. Right, firstly is for short term. By strengthening social media platform to gain a good public image, Uber should post and publish high quality content regularly, and it should also post the good deeds and the beneficial programs that had been done for the past years to the public. This would improve the public impressions towards Uber. Next is customer retention program. In order to gain trust and also attract new customer, Uber could offer discount like loyalty discount for their long-term customers, new rider discount to the new users of Uber, and also rider review that could publicly viewed on their apps. And lastly, Uber should ensure safe and anti-sexual harassment working environment. Sexual harassment has been a major problem for Uber, especially since 2017. Uber should organize monthly anti-sexual harassment campaign within their company to improve sexual assault awareness. This would remind every employee of the consequences of sexual harassment, while also encouraging them to report to their superiors if there is any sexual assault happen. Now, we move on to the long-term recommendations. Firstly, Uber should increase CSR activities. This would surely improve the public image of Uber. For instance, Uber should do a partnership with NGOs like UNESCO, an NGO that is recognized worldwide, to support vulnerable families. They could provide meals or free transportation for the family in needs around the world. Next, Uber should tighten the security system. Security system is very important for Uber as they store important data for their users. Uber should invest more in cybersecurity and develop cyber breach response plan. So if there is any data breach in the future, Uber could respond immediately and reduce the risk of losing public trust. Lastly, to develop additional penalty for unethical drivers. Drivers are the independent contractors of Uber. There are a lot of issues arises because of poor and bad drivers. Uber should implement a 30-day deactivation policy for drivers who are rated below 3 stars within 30-day moving average. Their Uber account would be deactivated. Drivers who fulfill this criteria would be disallowed from the privilege to drive for Uber and only allowed to file a new application after 6 months from the deactivation date. This will improve customer experience and also improve the public image of Uber as they prioritize customer safety and customer satisfaction. Thank you.